I'm going to read some excerpts out of this book, A Memoir of Sanctity. Great book. Ellen Wiesel wrote a book review on that. So, my grandpa, Mayor Moskowitz, was born in 1929. He was the son of the Shotzer Rebbe, Reb Avraham Chaim Moskowitz, in Chernowitz, Romania, which is now in Ukraine. He was the eldest child and his only son, and as such he was destined to succeed his father as the rabbi of the city. His father would often take him on walks and talk to him about the beauty of nature or the heroes of the Torah. There was one specific walk where, and I quote, he told me with great excitement about two giants of Torah, Harav Hagaon Meir Shapira, the founder of the Lublin Yeshiva, and of Rav Kook, the chief rabbi of Eretz Israel. As though speaking in a voice of dreamlike expectancy, he would say, Meku, which was his nickname, God should be good to me, for it is my hope and prayer that when you are older, you will be accepted to the yeshiva of Hakmei Lublin, and Meku, you will be able to one day learn in the yeshiva Harav Kook in Jerusalem, the holy city. I was far too young to fully comprehend the meaning of my father's dreams and aspirations. But his father never got to see that because the Nazis marched into their town. One day, the Gestapo unit gathered all the Jews in the synagogue, crowded them all into the synagogue. Yet that morning, his father continued to pray the morning prayers. Then the Gestapo unit, headed by a young officer, arrived at the synagogue and screamed for the rabbi, my grandpa's father. He demanded that he takes out the Torah and shreds it with his bare hands. He refused. The officer threatened again. He still refused. So the officer took the Torah out of the ark, threw it on the ground, and used his bayonet to slash the cover and stomped on it. And I quote, he ordered my father to go to the door of the synagogue. The huddled shapes of my father's congregation formed two lines, and my Abba walked between them with his head held high, wrapped in his prayer shawl, as his wife, my Ima, and her two children followed. The officer shouted that we should stop and not accompany my father, the rabbi. By himself, he went out to face his executioners. The Gestapo, with rifles held high, awaited him. One last look at his beloved family. As our frightened eyes met his, the order came and the flying bullets murdered my father, the rabbi. The heart-rending screams of the three of us, Abba, Father, Abba, and the sight flowing with blood will remain forever in thousands of hearts everywhere. After that, he and the Jews were chased out of the town by Nazis and Ukrainians and arrived at what my father described as the cursed mountain covered in dirt and mud. While he was there, he had to deal with freezing temperatures, pain, fatigue, fear, and hunger. There was one instance where he couldn't feel his legs because he was so cold, so his mother told him to run up and down the mountain so he could have feeling in his legs again. But he wasn't able to. Why? Because he kept tripping on frozen bodies. Later, those frozen bodies would be thrown into pits. The next night, he was taken from his mother by the Nazis, and an image that will forever remain in his mind. When he was taken away in the military truck, he saw, as it drove away, he saw the image of his mother getting smaller and smaller, waving her arms, saying he's only a child. He was brought to Sharograd, an area in Transnistria, which is in Romania now, and was kept in an old synagogue, which miraculously survived, because it was rumored that Baal Shem Tov himself prayed there. He was taken to a work camp, and he was forced to build a bridge in unspeakable conditions. The same day that it was completed, the Allies bombed it, and it was destroyed. The Nazis had to retreat and took my grandpa with them to a train station in Odessa, Ukraine. He was turned over to the SS and was going to be killed. But then two men jumped out of a window in the train station, and he followed them. He was only 11 or 12 years old, and he jumped into the snow, and he was shot in the shoulder. He would hide in forests and fields and sometimes stayed with peasants who thought they were just orphan Ukrainians. He somehow made his way back to Romania to a city called Yas. He was smuggled in a truck with live chickens to Bucharest and given to the Jewish underground. He was smuggled to the port city of Constanza, Romania, and went on a fishing boat named the Kozbek with several hundred other kids, and they were packed like sardines in boxes. They were brought to Istanbul, and from there he went to Israel with false identity cards from an organization called Aliyah Hanora, or a youth movement. When he was in Israel, he went to school at Mikveh Israel. This is his father, and this is his card at the school. While he attended that school, he was inducted to the Haganah. And that same night he was inducted, right after the ceremony, and I quote, "The teacher looked at us with penetrating eyes, and with a smile we couldn't understand at the moment, he exclaimed, 'You aren't returning to your dorms right now. Just follow me.' We continued to the gates of Mikveh Israel and climbed into a truck without knowing our destination. We arrived in Jerusalem in the midst of darkness. We beheld the city of our dreams for the very first time, and yes, at that moment we were all dreamers. On foot we continued in the direction of the Kotel, which at the time, the entrance was through a narrow alleyway through Arab homes, which they had turned into garbage heaps, because this was before the state of Israel was established. With thumping fear in our hearts, we approached the holy Kotel. I extended my fingers to touch its stones, and I gazed heavenward, crying with overflowing tears. I exclaimed, 'Abba, Father, here I am.' He continued to live in Israel for many years and then found out that his mother was alive in the United States, so he immigrated there. Many years later, he worked on March of the Living and visited Lublin. The Polish government let him visit the untouched yeshiva building, which at the time was a medical school, and the synagogue, the room we were just in, was a lecture hall. And I quote, "I recited the Kaddish D'Rabbanan. I lifted my eyes to God and repeated, 'Abba, Father, here I am.' I am fortunate in some way that I have fulfilled my beloved Father's dreams." So it was really important for me to come here. This is where my grandpa fulfilled his father's dream. It may seem weird though, why am I telling you this story? Compared to everything else in his life, this was a small portion. Even so, he never got to study here and he wasn't even Polish. But I'm here to tell my grandpa's story and to help teach a lesson that your dreams and your aspirations are more powerful than almost anything. Just look at this story. My great-grandfather's dreams for my grandfather. It survived the Holocaust, one of the worst events in human history. That just shows that dreams and aspirations transcend tragedy. My great-grandfather's dreams for his son connected him to two countries that he had never been, to two places he had never seen. Dreams and aspirations, they transcend borders, they transcend death. Just look at what we're doing on Try. It's a dream for almost any Jew to visit Jerusalem and the Kotel. Many of us weren't born in Israel, yet here we are realizing this Jewish dream, whether it's on behalf of you or your ancestors who were never fortunate enough to see their dreams come alive. One of the best moments for me on Try was when we were at the Kotel, and I saw some of you with pictures of your family who never got to see the Kotel. And that was just really touching for me, and it really helped connect to my grandfather's story. So I just encourage you, next time you go to a place that you know has great importance to your family, especially the Kotel, just take a second, stop, think, and just say, "Here I am. I'm here for myself, and I'm here for everyone in my family who didn't get to." Thank you.
I'm not going to take that seat after that speech. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. There's not really much you can say after that. Beautiful. Very touching. Thank you all for sharing. Anybody who shares this story, if it's one line, if it's a 10-minute presentation, these are beautiful, beautiful things. I just want you, before we leave, to understand where we're sitting and why we're sitting here. And just you should know, to be tested to get into this yeshiva, you have to be the elite of the elite. They didn't test anybody. You had to know 200 pages of Talmud by heart in order to get to the test. Forget about getting accepted. And we're talking about if your grandfather was tested, that's already the elite of the elite of the elite. But have a look at where he was tested. Don't move, I just want to show you. I want you to see this balcony out here. Look behind in the window, you guys are sitting, there's a balcony. This balcony, excuse me, yes, is this. I need to move out of the way now, okay? Thank you so much. I don't want to step in front of you. This is this. This is the opening ceremony in 1930. Look at the building, it's exactly the same as it was. It was redone. It went through a bunch of different reincarnations. On the top, you can see it says Yeshiva Chachmei Lublin, Yeshiva Chachmei Lublin. That's still there now, it's been redone. Also in Polish, Yeshiva Chachmei Lublin. Lechu banim shimu, go my friends and hear, Ra'u Hashem and Lachem, see that God will teach you. And they're all the leading rabbis, but notice here below me. I want you to move so everyone can see you two. I'm going to have to go on the side of the side of that. You notice down below, it's not just religious figures. You see that? You can't see one enough. There's men, there's women, there's different walks of life. There's not just black hats and black suits in. Because on the Mayor Shapiro, who was a phenomenal person, was not just, he was a member of the parliament in Poland for a certain amount of time. He was a very influential figure. He was a religious Jew, obviously, very religious Jew. There's a picture again. And he sat in that chair doing a rabbinical thing with his elite students. But he was also just a person. He was also an influential man who wanted to be up there, wanted to be part of the ruling government. He was a Jewish representative in the government. And he was that kind of person. You can see the people here are not just religious. They all came for the ceremony, marking this beautiful building, this wonderful idea of making a flagship yeshiva would be the number one yeshiva building. And this window here is that window there. Understand the window you guys are sitting up against? It's the middle window. Okay, we stayed in these rooms, 1, 2, 3 floors. This is floor 1, floor 2, floor 3. Okay, and there's steps in up through, maybe some of you saw. You probably can find your room if you look hard enough. Those are the yeshiva dorm buildings. And as we said, this Hotel Ilan was the yeshiva Chachmei Levi, went to a bunch of reincarnations, and has now come basically full circle because we can come here. It's not a ruin, it's been a ruin here. Okay? And stuff that sort of just like the other buildings get your way through, and they redid it beautifully. And they redid it because they wanted to show what Lublin was. Lublin, as we said, was that cornerstone of Hasidism, was the major center of elitist Judaism. That we just learned, sadly, was wiped out. The Jews were taken, almost all of them to Belzec, some of them over to Majdanek, and some to Auschwitz-Birkenau. A very sad ending to the normal community. And I really wanted to say the message you just got across me that touched me personally. You know me, guys. I'm a little bit older than you, but I also have my own dreams and aspirations, and it's very easy to forget those. It's very easy to just get lost in the balagan of the everyday, what's going on, especially when you're a father with kids, about how that takes over your life. It's very easy to lose those dreams, and it's lovely to have somebody come along and hit me on the head and say, no, remember, don't forget, you have dreams too, you have aspirations. Don't lose those. And those dreams are something to be yearned towards and to hope and never to give up. And I think it's a beautiful lesson, a very powerful one, and it's lovely learning here. I can even relate it back to the little page of Talmud we just learned. It seems not to have a connection, but if you read through it, it's talking about people expanding their horizons. Who sells a city? Someone who really has dreams, someone who really wants to get to where they're going. When I read that for the first time, I was like, okay, how am I going to connect this to the Christ students? And I said, wait a minute, someone who sells a city, that's someone who has gotten their dreams. And then it goes into the nitty-gritty of what can you, but there's a dream accomplished. Someone who's the place where they're selling a city, at least that's what it said to me. So with all that in mind, and this beautiful story, and this beautiful building, I want to finish with just a little song, because this is Hasidism and singing. It's not just learning, it's the learning and the singing together. And I don't want to dictate what song to sing, because then it will be from me. I want you guys to pick something, or somebody here to just come up with a song that will speak to everybody, a Hasidic kind of song, or a Jewish kind of song. And I really don't mind. There's a lot of people who like different songs. Just sing one together. Can everybody feel like throwing out a song they want to sing? It's not me telling it to you guys, maybe Gabe. I don't want to put you on the spot here. So you say, no, you don't want to pick one. That'd be fine.
That's okay.
It's okay. Okay, back a shot. Lovely. So let's go for it. All together. Just stay where you are. We're not going to start making a big circle here. Can somebody start up? I'm terrible at starting up the song. You don't know it, just nine of it.